Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to this CTFO Zoom event. My name is Adam Levy from Canton, Connecticut. You are in the right place at the right time. It's Tuesday Night Live. We do it every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We've got a really great special guest on tonight. Looking forward to getting into some details with Ted Wilson, the man, the myth, the legend. He's on a tour right now of Canada. So excited for him and his team. They're just crushing it right now. We're going to get to hear from Ted momentarily. Just wanted to make a couple of quick announcements before we get rolling. There's a lot of great events and things that are happening around the country. You want to get with your upline or plug into some of the team Facebook pages, even the community pages from CTFO will give you some of those details. But the big one that's coming up that you do not want to miss is in Las Vegas, Nevada. This is going to be an incredible event. It's the third week in January. Plug in, get yourself some tickets, get to Vegas. The plane tickets are really, really inexpensive, depending on where you're coming from, of course. But I have found that they are really affordable to get into Vegas. If you have to share a room with somebody, do that. I got to tell you that events just really make this business go. And that's kind of where I want to start off tonight because not too long ago, just a few months, really a month and change back, Ted, you and your team were a big part of the Orlando event. And I know that your team left there with their hair on fire, and it's now showing as they are all building for local events across all of Canada. Ted, welcome to the Zoom.
It is awesome to be here. Thank you for the opportunity to come in. I chime in about once a month or so on Tuesday nights, and nice to see the Bills Builders, all the family, and all the faces, and some new people as well.
Well, we're so excited to have you on, and I do want to start off with events because a couple of things happened. First of all, in Orlando, you had a great presence there, and I know they got back from that event and they were really, really excited. But then you also went to Mexico, and you were with Cowboy and myself and Evelyn Monroe and Stu Finger and David D'Arcangelo, and you got to see the launch of Mexico. And even though you didn't have a direct team there, how did that impact you? Because when you got back to Canada, you put together this tour and you went 75K like really, really quick. So congratulations on that. And let's talk a little bit about the power of events.
Well, let's do it. Here's the best part is that, we are all but energy, right? I mean, if everyone can, put their hand up visually, if they agree that we are all but just energy, we're energy beings. And people electronically, through electricity, through soul energy, they kind of resonate with like mind. I was watching a video the other day, and the speaker, the trainer, was talking about the fact that people, if you ask the question, what's the highest energy resonance? What's the highest feeling? There's a point to this, Adam. What's the highest feeling of the human body in terms of resonance? And most people will say love. And in fact, um, the uh, the physicists have actually determined that authenticity has 4 times higher resonance than love. So when you're in a very authentic place that you're speaking actual authentic truth, you're not faking it till you make it. You're not portraying it to become it. You're actually in your authentic self. You have full connection, full impact, full connection to a message, and that you are fully aligned with what you're doing. That through energy resonance transfer attracts like. So events attract like. People that come to events are obviously committed. They're obviously recognizing that the message of authenticity, the message of what CTFO represents, the message of what the nanoemulsion category represents, the future of healthcare, the fact that we have the perfect storm brewing, enhancements to compensation plan, corporate citizens on full display, their pedigree back, scaling quickly, rank advancements taking place, new rapid ranks. Look what's happening in Mexico since their launch. There's been, I mean, I'm not sure what the number is, but it's probably somewhere between 15 and 25Ks and above have popped in the last 30 to 45 days. I watched the numbers. because one, I can, and two, I'm in pool number 3. I mean, fantastic, right? Let's be honest. I mean, there's allocation for revenue for leaders to participate in supporting team CTFO. So coming back from Mexico, I say, you know what? We've got some little pockets starting to pop. Why not put together a small little tour? Let me reinvest the money I'm making in pool 3 in flights, in venue costs. I don't want these events to cost my team anything. I will make the investment if they show up with authenticity and bringing people of like. So long answer to your question, Adam, I'm really excited about the fact that when you have small little groups and that you come in and you share with love and with authenticity and with conviction and certainty, people are getting excited about the foundational health pack. It is the foundation of everything. I like to use we'll talk about this maybe in your next question or two, but I like to use the analogy around the quality of gas in your gas tank. And so we're building a whole organization based on sound logic and the excitement that this industry has been flat for 12 years in the supplementation industry. There hasn't been any innovation in the nutrition space for 12 years. In 2019, 2020, the 10x Pure technology is the newest patent technology with this liposome double encapsulated technology that makes fat soluble with water. So it kind of represents the logic, but also represents the, are you kidding me, for half the money. So it's really exciting, Adam. And so we're just perfecting right now our message to the market. We're all working together. Catherine Bosang and I are business partners. She's not in my organization, but I want Catherine to become a 25K leader. I want Joe Gutierrez to become a 50K leader. I want David Gardner to become a 100K leader. I want all of us here to really get our stake here. Catherine, no disrespect. I want to be presidential, okay? My point being is that we're building fires here and it's working. The message is resonating. We're not selling. We're sharing inspiration and the message authentically is being picked up by people that are looking for a message.
Ted, you talk a little bit about this foundational health pack. Now,
Yeah, yeah.
this without a question, all by itself was an amazing value, right?
Yeah.
But right now, you're getting an additional Xanthomist for free, and if you put it on SmartShip, you will continue to get that $80 free value ongoing until you ever take it off of SmartShip. It's a complete no-brainer, and you and I both know, and this is what I love about your presentations, is that when people get on this product category and get on to this package, they're going to feel better. That they're going to feel a difference, and that it's going to make a really incredible impact on their health. So when you talk about speaking truth to power, this is an incredible value that people get. And if you can really focus on that, which I know your team is doing in a big way, you're going to come out of 2023 into 2024 with an incredible foundation of SmartShip and volume because you focused on this foundational health pack. True or not?
Well,
true?
let me jump in. Yeah, so let me just frame it for the perspective. You've got a guy right now, you got a guy and a gal on your very Zoom tonight who for 4 years, no disrespect, he wasn't really super excited about building a CTFO business, but he was on a SmartShip of the immune booster pack for 4 years. Cowboy wasn't sick once in 4 years, and he was loyal. I mean, you want to talk about being a product of the product, but there wasn't enough there at the time for Cowboy to really get super amped up to stop everything and go tell the world until the nano emulsion was introduced, and now it's the trifecta. It's the big three. And I say that more to maybe reinforce the message that when you're fully locked into the fact that I haven't been sick in 4 years, the chewable candy, the Super 7 is like candy. It's kids friendly. It's kids and grandkids, and it's fantastic. It's half the money of other high-end quality supplements in the industry. And now you've got Kevin Fournier that's basically tweaking everything, enhancements and everything else. And all of a sudden, there's way more upfront money, getting people in the profit even faster with the first 30 and with rapid rank bonuses. And and some of the uniqueness elements to our comp plan. My point to you all and to your team tonight for the Biz Builders is that there's a real reason why the foundational health pack needs to be your central focus. Because one, you get the free bottle. It's an 80 for 100 for us Canadians, it's 144.97 out of the Toronto warehouse US. 144 US, and you get an $80 US value kicked in for free. So what's 144 minus 80? You're really getting this whole thing for 64 bucks. That's one way of looking at it, right? You're getting a freebie, okay? This is, you can go out and retail this because we're allowed to retail this. It's profit. It helps to soften the investment in your own health. But the bigger implications is that, and I'll just put it in, I'll insert just I might get in trouble here, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna insert just a little bit of a hint. There's a reason why corporate has you getting 2 of these and this on a monthly recurring smart ship. There's a reason why you're being given a second bottle of these, so that the pattern, the established behavior is well established come January the 19th. There might be a reason why that additional bottle has been put into a mix, category mix, just for purposes of ongoing consumption and purchase. Is that a fair comment, Adam? You're privy to
I think
information.
it is. I think there's a couple of things going on. I think that it really lends itself to being able to saturate. Number one,
Yeah,
when you have 2 of these instead of 1, so for the
yeah,
new person, and then as you
yeah.
say, as you maybe move past saturation and you only need 1 for yourself, you've got the other to
Mhm.
market, to sell, to give, to explore. But and you're bringing up, of course, what's coming in January, which is another topic I want to talk to you about, and that is how are you positioning that for the people, the leaders that you're talking to? I've often said on this Zoom that it's the
Mhm.
window of time before the product comes out, when you know it's coming out, when you know it's going to be a huge impact to not only people's health, but also to the industry as a whole from an opportunity standpoint. It's that window that I took advantage of prior to Xanthomist being launched. And we are in that window again right now prior
Right.
to our next mist product being launched. Now, listen, folks, during that window, I called the cowboy, I called Al. How about those calls? That made all the difference in their lives, in Ted's lives, in Pepe's life, and certainly in my life, because I worked that window. Ted, what are you doing during the window? And what are you saying as this new product is going to be announced in January?
Well, there's a bunch of questions inside of that question. So let's just first and foremost point out the elephant in the room. Look, we're not intentionally trying to be vague. We're not intentionally trying to seduce the audience with the proverbial carrot. Adam and I don't know the specifics, okay? We are, we don't have privy because of our leadership rank, because of our association with the council, Cowboy, other 50, 100K plus people. We don't know what the product actually is. We have ideas around it, but we haven't even been told the specifics. But what we have been told from Kevin Fournier, David D'Arcangelo, Stu Finger, what we've been told is this. David D'Arcangelo every week on his conference calls says what? CTFO will be seen as, consistent with this first product, an innovative healthcare solutions-oriented impact company. We are a health impact company. We're not a Me Too product. We're only interested in bringing out products that are truly standalone, cutting edge, innovative, and first in the category. I want to be the Kleenex of facial tissue. I want to be the Xerox of photocopiers. Don't you? So my marketing message, and I just got off the phone, literally, I said, I gotta go to my Zoom here for 6 o'clock Mountain. I was on the phone with one of my, consider my people I personally sponsored, my business partners, one of my partners. I said, I gotta go. We were just talking about how as of tomorrow, the 13th, I'm doing a 42-day run to the convention where I am allocating 90% of my time to now outbound recruiting. I have been in management mode. I'm the first one to admit the fact that it's about processes and systems and launching training platforms, launching communication portals, launching Facebook groups, and sort of managing the flow, cultural sort of context, touch points. All that stuff takes time, I understand. But beyond the magic of the culture of team unity, what I really am focusing on is I have to lead by example. I can't expect Mike and Kathy to become 100Ks until I first do it. I'm old school, Adam. I can't expect Dwayne Schmidt to become a 200K until I'm at 200K. I have to show what's possible. And I suck right now, okay? I'm being honest with you. I only have 43 personals in the last 9 months, and that's pretty good. But I have been way too long stuck at 50 and 75K. I got to get back to bringing on some new fires. And part of that role is exactly what I'm going to tell you. So for Catherine and for Richard and for Joe and for Georgia and for Joan and everyone else listening here tonight, and for your audience that's watching to this recording, this is exactly what I'm telling people. Number one, do you understand that I'm a professional and I take my business processes seriously? Yes or no? I'm asking my prospect, do you trust me? What are they going to say? No, you're a flake. No, yeah, of course. They say yes, of course. Number two, I am staking my reputation of X number of years inside of this industry space. For me, it's 34 years. I'm staking my reputation that I am about to do something that I've never done before ever, with a product category that is literally going to become a household name. And I am going to become the Kleenex of facial tissue in this category. It's going to happen. I don't want to miss this. Number three, I have a very short window of time to work with about 12 to 15 people only effectively. There's a reason why Jesus only had 12 disciples at the final supper. It's been proven that you can only work with about 12 people. And for those that are offended, I apologize. It's a good example, okay?
Great example.
My point being is that I can only work with 12 to 15 people with full maximal effort. And I am offering you, if you're willing to actually give me some time, not just your capital, but some time, your most expensive commodity, and you invest with me, and that we come together and we actually build something special here, I promise you, the next 12 months, you will literally set up your life for retirement, because most people don't have their retirement set up. Most people are struggling. Most people don't have two pennies to rub together when all the dust settles. And I want to help provide solutions for people, not just economically, but vitality wise. And so if you believe me enough, if you believe me and feel my conviction, and this is in person to person or over, over the Zoom or over the exchange, not over text message, not over DM, folks, old school, okay? When I get to this point, I simply say, are you willing to take a leap of faith with me? My company has a 60-day performance guarantee. I don't want you to be satisfied. It's not a satisfaction guarantee. It's a performance guarantee. I'm excited. I need you to be a product of the product. And do you believe me enough to try something risk-free, yes or no? Like, look at folks, I'm not here to pontificate theory. I'm just telling you the straight goods. You got to have the conviction and the certainty that this is going to literally change the direction of healthcare. You either believe that or you don't. And that's what I'm doing.
Love the posture.
I'm kicking serious derriere in the next 42 days. That's what's going to happen.
Ted, I'm excited about that. And I'm going to tell you, I love the posture. I only have time and room to work with 12 people. And I want to know if you trust me enough to not miss this with me, so we don't miss it. You get to participate and you get to change your life. I love that attitude. I love that way to position it with people. And if you notice, Ted's not saying anything specific about the upcoming product. He didn't even say nano emulsion, which is amazing to me because
it's not.
Right. It's going to be a high speed nutritional product similar to the Xantho Mist, similar technology, but it's going to have a wider audience than the mangosteen, a much wider audience.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, this is going to be really, really huge. I'll be working this window with Ted. I know that he's going to be working this for the next 44 days, like a banshee. How many of you are all in on this? I know I'm in on it. Are you guys in on it? Raise your hands if you're in on it. I want to see some hands up. Fantastic. Well, hey, Ted, I really appreciate you hopping on here. I'm going to have somebody else ask you a question or two, and that is my good buddy, my very loyal friend and customer of all those years that you mentioned, and that is 100K Cowboy Doug Glaze. Cowboy, take it away.
Hey, what's up, Mr. Ted? Thank you, Adam, and just great to be here. Ted, I guess we're getting close to we got another 6 minutes, but where do you get that gear, that determination? Does it start at noon? Does it start at 7 in the morning? Give us a Ted Wilson building day.
Well, first of all, as a measure of introduction, it only took you 4 years to hit 100K. Just for the record, it took you 4 years to hit 100K. So I mean, I'll do it faster than that, just so you know. I'm just joking with you, brother. So here's the thing. I think actually there's an answer in that joke. It's attitude. Okay. My wife loves the fact that I like to keep it light. I like to keep it fun. You know, I like to chase my wife around the house, and she lets me catch her a couple times a week. It's a positive situation. But we have fun, guys. We're having fun. If you're approaching this with drudgery and you know, that phone's going to feel 500 pounds. I guarantee it. And I've been there, by the way. I mean, it's not always unicorns and rainbows in the Wilson household. I mean, it's called life. Okay, I get it. But it's, first of all, it's attitude. Number two is it's process. I was just talking about this yesterday morning in one of my Facebook Lives. Drive and Talk with Ted is, you know, it's about consistency, right? It's about doing processes and patterns that create positive, ongoing, consistent behavior, which then leads to fulfillment and achievement, Cowboy. So my process is that I have to fuel my body correctly every morning, and I do. I always have a power smoothie every morning. I do more than just my vitamins and enzymes. I do a bunch of stuff because I believe that more is more, and my body will take in whatever it can take in, and I've been doing that for years. So it's the patterns around how I start my day with core nutrition. Number two is I exercise every day. I'm sorry, folks, if you're trying to have a high performance, high RPM business, if your body's only revving at 1500 RPMs, you're going to fail. You're going to cog down, and it's going to, you know, your carburetor's going to get all bogged up, and you're not going to hit 4000 RPM with a 1500 RPM body. You have to move your body. I'm not saying you got to buy a membership. I'm not saying you got to buy a personal trainer, but you got to do something every day to move your body. You also need to kick the habit of chewing snuff. But you got to start thinking about things that are not working for your greater good. I'm not here to be judgmental. I'm just saying that we want you at Presidential Cowboy. We have to put better quality care into our bodies and doing more things. Like Debbie's out walking every day, the Freedom 45 every day. That's fantastic. Number three is I try to at least read for 15 minutes a day. I listen to a podcast or a good book. Right now, I've got a great book I just bought online. It's called Greatness. And it's a great book that I absolutely love. I've just started. I'm only into the second chapter. And it's basically about the undeniable characteristics of excellence, both in athletics and in life. And then the last thing I do is I always, always, always keep track of who's in my funnel. Who am I talking to? What's the spouse's or partner's name? What's their kid's name or grandkid's name? Where do they live? What's their biggest worries? What's their biggest fears? Some of the proverbial hot buttons. I use FORM, friends and family, occupation, recreation, money. I try to ask good questions. And then I always then attach the benefit of what we're doing over here with areas that have been uncovered in conversation. And I track who I'm talking with. I have these books. I've got these Qualbound books. I got multiple books. It's old school. These are 99 cents at the dollar store, folks.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, I'm old school. This isn't going to get deleted with my if my hardware crashes on my cell phone. The only way how this is going to get ruined if it's going to burn in a fire or it gets stolen out of my backpack at the gym. But I take this thing everywhere I go. Okay. The attitude is key. Fueling my body, having lightheartedness, keeping it light, having a daily consistent pattern of excellence, consistency that leads to fulfillment and achievement, and tracking who you're talking to. End of the day, I've got Al Diaz, my incredible sponsor. I've got Cowboy, who's an okay upline. I've got Adam Levy. We have fun, and we have every so often check-ins. We try to check in once a day. Have an accountability partner. I've asked a few of my partners I'm in business with, if we don't do a 3-way call at least 2-3 times a week, you're not growing your business. I'm not going to be that hard ASS and say, well, I do one every day, but we got to do 3-way calls at least 2-3 times a week. If you're not doing 3-way calls, you're not growing your business. And if some of you are asking the question, what's a 3-way call? That's that little function on your phone that says add call. Now you got to, and then you merge them in, and now you got a 3-way bridge. When I bring someone on board, even if I already got their commitment, I still want to link them in with my sponsor or a member of my team to validate that it was a good decision, because I'm doing it. I'll end on this. I do it to demonstrate that there's support available. It's not the Lone Ranger. I'm not the Lone Ranger. I have to demonstrate that there's support available. It was a good decision to join. Ron Borsima's on this call tonight. He's a 5K and he does 3-way call. He's been doing this business for over 50 years. 3-way connect calls are the key to growing your business. If you're not doing 3-way calls, you're not growing your business, period.
Mm-hmm.
That's the answer to your question, brother.
And one last thing before we go. You were in Canada with your rally. You were in Orlando with your rally. And recently we were in Mexico. Would you tell the folks, when we walked into Mexico, we walked into Orlando, and we walked out, what did it do for your business?
Well, it just, my mother had a saying that we're all like toast. Every so often we need buttering up. Events help to reestablish and reignite the convictions of, oh my God, I got the best thing since sliced bread, literally. So number one, it helps to fire me up. It helps to reaffirm that I'm in the right place with the right people. Number two, I love the stories. People want to know, what are these products and this opportunity doing for people? It's not just about the health, it's also about the wealth. And so the stories around rags to riches and desperation to inspiration, those are important. And you only get those seemingly at the actual, what you call rallies. It sounds like an auto sport thing. The events, doing these events are key. So it helps to sort of raise and reaffirm conviction. It also helps to bring new tools in terms of hearing stories. And then the last thing it does is it also universally, energetically does what? It affirms my dedication to my business. I am energetically saying I'm open for business and I'm kicking ASS. And the universe says, your wish is my command. When I go to events, it increases the vibration about what I'm doing, and it also increases the vibration of those partners that are coming with me. Events is where leadership is born, and that's where you see the future growth of this company. Events fuel behavior. I will never, ever, ever miss an event, ever. Yes, I can afford it, but even when I was broke, busted, and disgusted, at least I had a mentor that says, look, get to events because it's going to help to refuel your gas tank to get you fired up and ready to go to build this business. And so that's what I've done. And I've done that for 34 years and I ain't stopping, Cowboy.
Cool beans. We want to thank you, Ted, first of all, for the friendship. Second of all, for the leadership. And guys, we will see you in Vegas. Go to your back office, get your tickets. The leaders will be there, and so will you. See you next week.
It's a write-off. Buy the ticket. It's a write-off. See you in Vegas. Come on.
Thank you, Ted. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. As always, Adam Levy from Canton, Connecticut. This has been the Tuesday Night Live at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Everybody have a great, great night and a great, great week. Bye bye for now.